So speaking of sharing and why we should share, we've got our section 2. Our news and notes, our tids and bits, our do you give a bleep?
Yes.
And explain to everybody what this is.
This is where I find news stories from the week before and present them to Dawn and Greg and whoever else is here, and we discuss.
And I try to know as little about it as possible.
Yes.
I've decided we're going to try some different things, but I'm going to give you the tools to do the analysis that I'm using. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about this week, where I had ideas.
Yes.
So we'll do that next week. I'll give you the tools.
I kind of took that and ran with it a little bit. So.
Okay. So what's our first story?
First story is Bob Dylan.
Oh, he won the Nobel Prize.
On Thursday, he won the Nobel Prize for Literature.
I think that's a fitting prize for Bob Dylan.
Yeah, Bob Dylan's a great writer.
He's a great writer.
He's the first musician to win and the first American to win since Toni Morrison won in 1993.
What did Toni Morrison win for? Literature?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, way to go, Bob Dylan. I give a bleep about that. Bob Dylan's great.
Yeah.
He just played Desert Trip, right?
Yes. And apparently didn't talk to the audience once.
But yeah, I saw certain people are upset that songwriting's not literature. Or
songwriting is absolutely literature.
Yeah.
You want to put the lid back on that, dear?
It's going to make a bunch of noise. Okay. Yeah, songwriting's totally literature.
Right. I say so too.
It's why I make instrumental music. Like left to my own devices, I make instrumental music because I like separating the two. Songwriting is the meshing of music and literature.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
So
I wouldn't call instrumental music literature, but song lyrics are a form of poetry, and poetry is literature.
That's right.
Yes.
And I just want to point out that the first line of Bob Dylan's obituary has now been updated, right? Now it's Nobel Prize winning songwriter
Yes.
Bob Dylan.
Right.
You know?
Nobel Prize winning songwriter. That's a title that
you got to pick her up if she's going to keep doing that. Say hello to Regal Cat, everybody. We have a cat. And Chris is going to pick her up later in the show and show everybody the cat. Pumpkin may come in too. We have 2. You'll hear him before you see him. Yeah, so we give a bleep.
We give a bleep. And the permanent secretary for the Swedish Academy agrees with you. When asked if this was broadening the definition of literature, her response was, the times they are a-changing, perhaps. So, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
It's pretty good. So way to go, Bob Dylan.
Way to go, Bob Dylan.
We give a bleep. So be sure to share this one, show somebody, click the like. We do these specifically to help drive search traffic. So leave a comment, click like, especially on these, and it helps us a lot. Yep. Thanks for watching. What's section 2?
You mean what's next?
Oh yeah, what's next?